What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on Fantasy Pros with a 12-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting 8th overall. Our roster, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. But that's pretty much it. So let's kick it off. And while we wait, as always, a reminder, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comment section. Any questions, concerns, we'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let us begin. And let's first break down several of the selections here that have already occurred. And they are as follows. We have Bijan Robinson going at the 101. I would say more often than not, you're going to see Jamar Chase there at the 101 spot. But Bijan, maybe every now and again, could be him, could be Saquon. I've talked about it before. I feel like there's some more options at that 101 pick this year compared to, for sure's like in the years prior. So either way, you can't go wrong with it. After Bijan, it was Jamar, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Saquon Barkley, followed by Puka Nacua. So we are here at the 108 spot, and I think we're, in a good spot here. We can do one of two things. We can go with the running back. We can go with the wide receiver. Question is, what do we think can happen in the second round? So I'm looking at the list of wide receivers, and, this next tier of guys, the Neighbors, the Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, Drake London, I don't think we're going to have any of them fall to us in the second round. So, me personally, I'd rather grab one of them now and potentially land a Genty, an A-Chain, or a McCaffrey in the second round, which I think is a little bit more realistic and a higher likelihood that that is available. So let's go with that strategy. I'm going to go personally here with Malik Neighbors. I have him ranked a little bit higher than these other wide receivers. So Neighbors, with a quarterback upgrade this year, I think will be in a good situation. So we go with Malik Neighbors. Let's see if there's a running back run or not, or if we just, we're too far away from those running backs in general. So we went with Malik Neighbors. Then, Jahmyr Gibbs was the next selection. He was the next highest ranked guy. Nico Collins, Drake London, Brian Thomas. So exactly kind of how we predicted. All those tier 2 best of wide receivers were selected. But then a little bit unfortunate. A-Chain and Genty both off the board. Was really, really hoping that one of them would fall to us. Doesn't happen. McConkey, Jackson Smith, and Jigba are the next 2 selections. So, to some extent, we were right about the wide receivers. Now, I did mention Christian McCaffrey's name as somebody that I could target in the second round. And I still think that, again, he is a solid choice. It just depends how comfortable you are with that risk, right? A risk versus reward. If we want to go a little bit, more conservative, I think Derrick Henry also can be a solid choice. Yes, he is not that guy, that pass-catching running back. He never will be, but you're banking on the touchdown upside, the touchdown potential here, a high-octane Baltimore offense. And we had success last year. I think, the Ravens rewarded him with an extension. So I do believe Henry will continue to be involved. Maybe not as many injury question marks as McCaffrey. So I don't think we've drafted too much Derrick Henry in the mocks we've done up until now. So let's change that. Let's go Derrick Henry here. And then if we're lucky, we can nab a solid running back in the third round. So we went with Derrick Henry. Then it was A.J. Brown, Brock Bowers, Tyreek, McCaffrey. McCaffrey drops all the way to the 209. I think at that point, he's a really good value. Trey McBride, T. Higgins. So Bowers and Trey McBride, more and more time passes, the more and more they are getting closer and closer together in regards to their ADPs, which I think that should be the case. Like before, I was saying if McBride is going a full round almost later than Bowers, I would much rather do that than commit the earlier pick to Bowers. After McBride, it was T. Higgins, then Bucky Irving, Breece Hall, Kyron Williams, Garrett Wilson. Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, and two quarterbacks with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So, I'm looking here at potential questionable picks. I wouldn't be selecting Brees Hall ahead of Kyron, Josh Jacobs, or Jonathan Taylor. That's me personally. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Here for me, it's a really easy pick. To me, this is Chase Brown all the way. Like I've already got my thumper at the running back position with Derrick Henry. Here I'm going Chase Brown, pass catching running back, and getting him here towards the end of the third round I think is really good value. So let's see what we can do at the wide receiver position now, or just in general. Let's break it down. Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison, all still on the board. Alvin Kamara still there, as well as that aging PPR running back. We don't know what this offense will look like for the Saints with new quarterbacks there. We could go with a quarterback and a Jaden and a Jalen Hurts. Maybe, here what we can do is gamble and see if Joe Burrow is there in the, what would it be, fifth round for us, so we can pair him up with Chase Brown, a little stack that I like. So let's potentially do that and instead target the wide receiver position. I like Terry, I like Devontae, I like Marvin Harrison, I like all these three guys. I'm going to go with upside, and I'm going to go with the guy that, in my opinion, is the number one guy on his team. To me, that is Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, he has the highest upside. Terry now has to deal with Debo, Devontae Adams with Puka Nacua. Marvin Harrison, yes, Trey McBride is there, but like you still need an alpha wide receiver. Let's not forget where he was drafted. So I'm going to load up on the two sophomore guys, Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. And now, depending on what we have available to us in this next round, maybe we might go quarterback, but we miss out on it, not by much. So after we went Marvin Harrison, it was Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, those next two, let's call them tier one quarterbacks, and Jalen and Jaden Daniels, then Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin, Joe Burrow, DK Metcalf. First pick that I really honestly hate, Travis Hunter. I really don't get the Travis Hunter hype. I think that he is the clear number two behind Brian Thomas. I think that he's going to be hurt by the fact that he's also planning on playing DB. And, that's just not sustainable. Higher risk of injury, too, if we want to talk about it from that perspective. Travis Kelce was then selected, Courtland Sutton, and James Conner. So now looking at these next options, David Montgomery is there, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard. A guy that I've been trying to get for forever, and RJ Harvey is here. I think potentially, I could go with Harvey. Like, this is a bit of a gamble. I can wait for Harvey in the sixth round. I don't know if it'll bite us or not. I think that, here we could go with the tight end in Hawk or Laporta. Like, this team already has a tight end, but I tend to believe that a tight end will be selected here at some point. These other guys have running backs, so I think that probably, again, this is why I always mention, look at what other teams are doing, especially in these mock drafts and in drafts in general, so you can kind of keep up with that situation. Here, you know what? Let's go with Sam Laporta. Last time I went with the TJ Hawkinson. I have TJ Hawkinson and Sam Laporta basically one right next to the other. Olave is an option as well. I just, with the new quarterback, with the injuries, concussions, scares me a little bit, right? So let's go Laporta. Let's see if we were right on the trend that we expected. And yes, so immediately after Laporta was Hawk, then a couple wide receivers, Ayuk, Jameson Williams, Tedero McMillan, David Montgomery, Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Xavier Worthy. Guess what, folks? I think this is our first share of RJ Harvey, my favorite rookie running back, not named Genty, obviously. I'm going with Harvey here. I think he could excel in Denver. It's a good spot, and they're going to want to take pressure off of Bo Nix. Let's go. This is what's going to happen. I've got a bunch of young guys on this squad, man. And honestly, I don't mind it. I don't mind it one bit. I think Harvey is a solid flex player. I think he's going to be given opportunities right out the gate. So after it was Harvey, then Aaron Jones, Chris Olave, Marion Hampton, And honestly, I think that's how it should be. I think Harvey should be the second rookie running backs selected, not O'Marion Hampton. Pickens, DeAndre Swift, Travion Henderson, Baker, Jalen, Pittman, Mahomes. Man, Mahomes going in the 7th round. Crazy times. Jordan Addison, Cooper Kupp, Pacheco, Jerry, Judy. So, I mean, we can go with another rookie running back here in Judkins. Judkins is a guy that I like as well. I've continued to say it, and I do think that one of the 3 running backs in Judkins and Harvey and Genty have a top 10, but let's be more conservative, top 15 finish in them. So here I'm gonna go with Judkins, I'm gonna go with Judkins. Rome Odunze is kind of tempting. I need another wide receiver. Let's see. Let me just look at the draft board. Maybe some running backs go. I don't know. I mean, Rome Odunze's here. Judkins, how far down is Judkins? He's not that much further down. I'd still be happy with like a Juwan Jennings or potentially a Debo, something like that. I'm gonna go with another rookie rusher in Judkins. Can never have enough running backs, right? So we can go with Judkins here, and we kind of did have a running back. Well, I guess it was kind of balanced when you look at it, because it ended up being Judkins, who we picked, then Jalen Warren, Khalil Shakir, Rome Odunze, Pollard, Tyrone Tracy, Diggs, Juwan Jennings, and Brian Robinson. We are still without a quarterback. That's all right. I'm not too worried about it. Our running backs, I think, look great. We don't have to worry about that position. Wide receiver, Ridley and Jacoby Myers still there. Honestly, at this point, I might take a chance on Ridley. Like, you have the supposed quarterback upgrade. So, let's do it. You should be the number one, the clear number one in Tennessee. So let's see what happens with that one. So yeah, let's go Calvin Ridley here. He's obviously not Calvin Ridley in his prime or anything like that, but I'm just hoping for some more stability with the quarterback upgrade. So, again, going back to the selections here, we're getting close to the end here, folks. Basically, 4 more selections. So after Ridley was Najee, Caleb Johnson, Scattaboo, Debo, Ramondre, Kirk, Jacoby. Run on tight ends: Njoku, Ingram, Kareem Hunt, Jonnu Smith, Rashad White, Josh Downs, Mark Andrews. There's been rumors about Jonnu Smith getting traded. We'll see what happens there. I will say Travis Kelce going that early here compared to like where Mark Andrews went, like that's crazy. Travis Kelce shouldn't have gone that early. That's something I also want to point out. So now, I mean, the quarterbacks are still there for us. I'm looking at wide receivers that I potentially like. Nothing too crazy. So I'm glad we got Ridley. Maybe this is where we go with the quarterback. I mean, I mentioned getting the stack with Burrow and Chase Brown, but we can get a Marvin Harrison and a Kyler Murray stack here, right? We could do a Jared Goff and a Sam Laporta stack. So I probably, honestly, I'm going to end up drafting both quarterbacks, just to, ensure myself, because we've seen it where, Kyler Murray can end up struggling. We've seen injuries in the past. But I was going to say I'd ensure myself, but Jared Goff was selected, so never mind. He was selected immediately after our Kyler Murray selection. So Jared Goff will not be on the squad. Here, what can we do? I'm looking at these other names. Jordan Mason, I think, is pretty intriguing as far as high-end handcuffs go. He proved that he could get it done in San Francisco last year. And we know Aaron Jones is going to get hurt at some point in time. So I think going with Jordan Mason here isn't a bad pick, really. I'm not going to look at tight ends, even though I think Jake Ferguson is a decent value at this point in time. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Jordan Mason. Let's do that. And then we can just kind of round out the bench here. I think Caleb Williams is a high upside quarterback that you take in the later rounds, basically exactly what we're working with here. So we can do that, but we can do that with our last pick. Wide receivers, Darnell Mooney's interesting. He had some big games last year. We'll see what happens with the quarterback change now. Full season there. I think Adam Thielen continues to be like, as long as he's healthy, a solid option. The problem is, like, you've added. I really don't know what the wide receivers in Carolina are going to look like. Like, is Hunter Renfrow still going to be on that team? Like, I'm pretty sure some people didn't even realize the Panthers signed him. Is you know is the addition of Tedero McMillan really going to take away a lot from Thielen in that slot role? I don't know, but I think he could be a solid like PPR guy just to have and take a chance on. Again, not too far away with Darnell Mooney in that category either. So yeah, let's just go with Adam Thielen here. Rashid Shaheed is also not a bad choice considering how much Olave gets injured. So I'm kind of on the fence. Let's go. I guess let's go with Shaheed. There's just so many freaking mouths to feed in Carolina. Ooh, Caleb Williams got selected. I guess we should have gotten Caleb Williams. But I mean, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Dak are all still there. You could go Justin Fields, a high upside rushing quarterback, right, in New York. I think that's intriguing. And like, this is how I would like to draft Justin Fields, where I don't have to rely on him as a starter. Kyler Murray, I think, he'll be an average quarterback, like between around top 10, something like that. Yeah, so let's go with Justin Fields for the upside. Maybe he's finally found a home in New York. And then let's see the grade we get. I actually don't mind the squad. I actually like it a lot. We get a B minus. So, I mean, I love my running backs. Henry, Chase Brown, Harvey, Judkins, a little bit of a Jordan Mason in case Aaron Jones gets hurt. I really like my wide receivers, at least my starters, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison. We were able to get a difference maker at the tight end with Sam Laporta. Calvin Ridley potential there, Shaheed potential. I think we're getting, knocked down maybe a little because of the quarterbacks and some of the rookie rushers, but I'm a bigger fan of this team than the draft grade would indicate. But hey, let me know your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin. Continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.